In the quaint seaside town of Willowmere, nestled between colossal cliffs and the whispering sea, young Thomas Marrow spent his afternoons on the rugged beach, gazing out at the horizon with a heart full of dreams. He was the librarian's apprentice, a keeper of stories, but what Thomas desired most was a story of his own. His curious nature was stirred most by tales of undiscovered lands and mystical voyages. Therefore, one cloudy morning, fueled by legends of an enchanted isle said to vanish and appear at will, Thomas set out in a modest boat, armed with little but a compass, his favourite books, and a boundless yearning for adventure. The sea was a tempest of beauty and mystery. Thomas had sailed beyond sight of any land when a sudden, fierce storm descended, with howling winds that seemed summoned from another world. The boat rocked perilously, and the rain blinded him. Yet amidst this uproar, he heard a faint melodic voice calling, "Steer the course." Miraculously, as though guided by an unseen force, his boat navigated through the storm. When the skies cleared, before Thomas lay an island that shimmered with an ethereal glow. The Isle of Reverie, as he would come to learn, was uncharted, untouched by any mapmaker's ink. It appeared pulsing with vibrant colours that Thomas had never seen before. The trees swayed with leaves of silver and gold, and the waters around it sparkled with a radiant azure unlike any he had witnessed. The moment his boat slid onto the sands, peculiar yet gentle creatures, reminiscent of foxes with wings made of thin, pearlescent sheets, glided around him. They chirped in a strange, harmonious language, beckoning him to follow them into the heart of the island. As Thomas ventured deeper, the ground beneath his feet shimmered, as if studded with stars. In the centre of the island was a vast library, larger than any cathedral he had ever seen or read about. Its walls and ceiling were transparent, made entirely of what appeared to be glass, but felt as soft as air. The librarian, an ageless figure draped in robes that shifted colours with the light, greeted Thomas. "Welcome to the knowledge of worlds unbound by your reality," the figure spoke in a voice both ancient and youthful. Thomas was led through the library, where books floated freely around, glowing gently, waiting to be read. Each book he touched transported him into its story. He battled dragons, flew with eagles over mountains, and dived into the deepest oceans. The island, he realized, was alive and storyteller itself, feeding on the imaginations and dreams of anyone who visited. Days blurred into nights, with constellations spinning overhead that Thomas had never seen before. Eventually, the island brought him to its edge, where the sea met the sky in a swirl of dawn's light. "It is time for you to carry our stories to the world," the librarian had said, placing in his hands a book unlike any other, its pages blank. Returning to Willowmere with the book tucked under his arm, Thomas realized he was different. The book, as promised, accepted ink, but only for tales born of true adventures from his soul. He began writing, and with each word, the book's magic seeped into his world, bringing bits of the Isle of Reverie into Willowmere. The isle had vanished when he looked back, hidden by its mystical veil. But for Thomas, whose life was now intertwined with the extraordinary, every horizon held a new story, and every whisper of the wind promised a new adventure. He was no longer just the librarian's apprentice. He was a keeper of the world's dreams, a navigator of the boundless sea of imagination.